Hey guys, welcome back to our new video. This week I managed to remove the front axle and disassembled it. Also, I removed nearly all parts from the underbody, so that next week I will be able to start grinding the underbody, and hopefully at the end of next week I will be able to apply the first coat of the new paint. So have fun watching this video. Now, after I've finished sorting all the screws, I will continue with the front axle, and I think I didn't make it clear enough in the last video why we want to remove the front axle before rebuilding the engine, and that's one simple reason: because the removal of the underbody protection in the wheel arches will produce a lot of dirt and dust, and I would like to have this done before I start rebuilding the engine. Yes, and why I want to exactly remove the front axle, that's also very simple, because there's rust between the front axle and the chassis, and I would like to remove the rust and paint these parts, and it's a lot easier with the front axle removed. And I already struggled a few hours off camera with the front axle because the screws and nuts are really rusty, so I brought some new tools to hopefully make life a little bit easier today. I already did some preparation for this work. I supported the engine from underneath, so that when I remove the front axle and the engine mounts, the engine will hopefully stay in its actual position. Yes, this went well, better than expected. I think the impact driver is a real blast, and in combination with heat and the ice rust remover, it worked really well. So hopefully the other side will be as easy as this side. As you have seen, I finished removing the front axle. The bolts on the right side were a little bit harder to loosen than the ones at the left side, but nevertheless I managed to loosen them all, and then it was just a matter of hammering the thing down. Yes, and now I will remove the spring domes on the left and the right side, because these are the last parts before I have to remove before I can start sanding the wheel arches, and then I can take care of the front axle and start disassembling it and sand all parts so that they are ready to get painted. Yeah, to make life a little bit easier, I will heat up the screws so that the paint which is sprayed on there will get a little bit softer, and this will make it a lot easier to screw down the nuts. Yeah, because there's already a lot of material missing and they are not that expensive. I think we will go and probably replace them on both sides. So with a lot of heat, rust remover and 2 impact drivers, I finally managed to disassemble the whole front axle, so that now I can go and grind all the parts. And then when the paint arrived, which I've already ordered, this will be the first parts that I will paint. If you also want to disassemble your front axle and remove the lower wishbones, be careful that you remember which shims were on which side, because I have no idea how to calculate or measure how many shims have to go on either side. So yes, be careful and store them so that you easily can put them back in the right order. While I still wait for the wire brushes and the underbody protection to show up, I will use the time and try to remove the fuel lines and the brake line from the underbody, because these are the last parts in the forward part of the underbody except from the engine and the transmission, so that when the wire brushes arrive I can start grinding. And it maybe sound a little bit weird, but I'm really looking forward to start grinding the underbody, because after I've done this I can start painting and then go on and start rebuilding the front part of the car. Yes, and I'm really looking forward to this. Now there's only one fuel line left under the underbody, but to remove this one I will have to remove the fuel tank, unfortunately. It was not my plan to remove the fuel tank, but it's not that much work, and I think maybe it's a good idea to check if there is any rust underneath the tank. So we will do this when Laura is back here at the workshop, and then there are only 2 more screws under the underbody that we also have to remove together. Yes, and for now I will remove the cables from the trailer hitch, because we will not mount the trailer hitch again, and then prepare the last parts of the front suspension for grinding.